Welcome.
Welcome, Midnight Explorers, to the Midnight Graveyard. Thanks for joining us in all your creepy ways. Grab some blood and join us while we tell some tales of some spooky things. Don't forget to like and subscribe so that you can get updates on all of our spooky stuff. This one, we're going to talk about the Hellraiser movies, Hellraiser 1 and Hellraiser 2.
Yeah.
So for me, I am on a journey to watch all of the Hellraisers. I am enthralled at this idea that these movies were recommendations, that they were classics or are considered classics, and I'm unsure what is pulling people. So I am going to continue watching them.
What was pulling people, right? Because
Yes.
it's an older franchise.
Well, they just redid one,
Yeah.
so it's still, and they've made so many over the years, so
That's
it
true, there's
definitely
a
has
bunch.
a fan base. Yeah, and like for me, the first time that I saw the movie Hellraiser 1, I was a teenager who had just recently shared with my father that I loved horror movies and enjoyed watching them with my friends, and he recommended Hellraiser. And I remember afterwards being like,
That was weird.
why the hell was this a recommendation? This is not a horror movie. It's like a weird...
It's funny, I was going to ask you who made the recommendation to you.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. I think you told me that story.
Yeah. So, for me, I don't think it is a strong horror movie in the sense
Right.
that there's not a lot of things that scare you.
Yeah.
And it's more gross.
Yeah. I mean,
and
there's...
creepy.
I feel like there's scary stuff, but it's sort of more tied up in, like, religious hell, demon, right? Kind of getting trapped as one of those things, right? Because it's not...
I mean, they're not demons, though, and they say that they cannot go to hell because they're, like, of the universe. There's, like, some universal...
Right.
Yeah.
See, I
So
didn't pay that close attention as you did.
All right, so what do you recall of Hellraiser before watching it recently with me?
Not much. The nails in the head.
Yeah, the
Thing.
iconic image.
Yep. And, that's maybe it.
Did you see it before?
I had at least started it. I don't know that I guess maybe we didn't finish. Me and my buddy, when I was like 13, we rented it, or he had rented it or something. And
That's
so,
like too young.
yeah, and so we had put it on like some Friday afternoon, but I don't remember all of it. I remember watching some of it. I don't know, we probably got distracted or decided to do something else, you know?
Yeah. This go around was definitely different than the first time. First time I saw it, I was just like, what the hell did I watch? That wasn't a horror movie. That was just weird and gross and confusing. This time, I could see things that were maybe the draw for some people. I enjoyed that there was a female lead who was a middle-aged married woman that is luring men to their deaths, and it was very much an 80s idea for female sexuality.
Yeah,
and
our hero, right, is like a teenage
virgin.
girl, right?
Well, I don't know, maybe to some degree, yeah. Yeah, but yeah, she's this young,
Teenage, right?
pure,
Right.
not corrupt yet.
There's some commentary happening there, maybe, or something, right?
Yeah, because in the entire first one, it's like all about the woman, the main married woman,
Yeah.
stepmother, luring all of her husband's friends that she just had over for dinner
Right.
slowly into the... Sorry, I didn't know what it was at
Tag.
first. Slowly luring them to her attic, of all places, which is just funny, like when her husband's not home, and they're all very eager to have sex with her. They're like, no
Yeah.
one has questioned being lured to this attic and being seduced by their good friend's wife. Like, there is no rebuttal. They're all just like, oh, yes, hell yeah. I couldn't wait for you to ask. And we saw all these men at a dinner party, like, with their significant others ahead of this. So you get this commentary about sex and very, I'd say, 80s old school typical sex norms, right? If you are empowered with your sexuality, you are, slutty and manipulative. And if you are a male, you are most likely just going to want to have sex with anything that is around you. Those were some very old school ideas that I think get kind of captured a bit. So what would you say surprised you about both of these movies, if anything?
So for me, the gore, like, I didn't remember how disgusting
Yeah.
a lot of the scenes were. Like, a lot of the stuff that happened, like hooks and things, but there was more than just that. Like, if it was just the hooks, I would have been like, yeah, that's standard fare for like a 80s slasher horror kind of. But there was more than just the hook stuff, like hooks ripping people apart, and I was surprised at the level of gore, I guess, because I didn't remember that, and like I said, I had seen at least part of one previously, and I'm not a fan of gore. It does usually stick out to me because I think of it as like more of a crutch typically, than anything else when I see it, especially like to that degree. I think they're making up for a shortcoming or something here, Was there something that surprised you?
No, I think a lot of the sexy plot lines
Right.
or sex plot lines, especially with Uncle Frank, like, ew, biggest creeper ever. And also a little bit like funny, some of the lines. Like, I have an Uncle Frank, so it's like funny to hear like Uncle Frank and like screaming and all these weird like predatory things that were not like my Uncle Frank. So
Right.
it was like ridiculous. And that's the other thing is like when Uncle Frank comes alive in Hellraiser 2, he wants to have sex with his niece. Like, he's all about that and is like luring her. It's so bizarre. Like, I guess this box feeds on weird, maybe evil desires. I'm really not entirely sure. So I'm still on the journey of understanding Hellraiser. But I'd say like all that
Like
stuff surprised
corrupt
me.
actions or something, maybe.
Yeah.
Or something like that. I'm not sure either.
I just thought it was bizarre. Yeah, and so then that lends to the storyline, which is something I'm still grasping. Do you have any thoughts on that you wanted to share first?
On the storyline?
Yeah.
No, it's not super fair for me to comment because like I didn't pay attention to a degree that like would leave me confident about my assessment, but convoluted is the word that comes to mind. Like, I didn't get a rough idea. I felt like I paid attention enough to understand at least a rough concept of like what the story is about, and I didn't.
Yeah.
I don't have a rough idea really. Like you said, there's a guy that finds a box and it makes people do like bad things. The woman that was the love interest of the man who finds the box said like he wanted hell and that's what he got. Why did he want hell? That's never explained. It's never really touched on. I don't know why or what really is
Is it just the depravity?
happening though. But like, I don't know. He figures out this puzzle and then like unlocks this thing, so he just unleashes this onto the world, or is it the
No.
holder of the box?
It basically sucks his life away,
Right.
and then the box ended up. It was like an archaeological dig that encountered the box, and then we learn that Frank, the love interest, he already did some immoral stuff. Like, he slept with his brother's wife before they got married. So like that love interest is like, that was long before she was even married. So we know that there's some, like, we'll say sinful behavior that both of those people are already inclined to. So when he finds the box, he basically, like, that's when the gore comes, and he's like stretched and pulled, and those beings that are disgusting come out and are in control of it. But I'm not sure what they want, what they seek.
Right.
And then they kind of like suck Frank's entity into this box as well. The box, I believe, gets shipped back to the family because Frank's dead, I guess. So they like, so it's just in the attic. And then when the husband accidentally like cuts himself and spills blood in the attic, that is the thing that starts feeding Frank slowly back to life, which is also gory because he's like coming back like slowly. So it's like skeleton, then muscles, then blood. So it's very, it's a long, gross process. But blood fuels his revival.
Right.
But then the box also wants him back. So it's...
Yes, it doesn't make a ton of sense. Right?
Yeah.
But to be fair, we haven't seen all 7 of them or whatever.
Right, exactly. So I'm still waiting on that because it's interesting, and I like the way the blood is like building their bodies back. Like, I thought that was a really cool concept.
Yeah.
And
very like vampire-esque.
And they look creepy.
Yeah.
And their movements were cool.
Yeah. I'm curious about those other things and their involvement with the box of humanity or whatever.
Yeah. So in the second one, then you got like a bit of a deeper story because you see the historical progress of the box, and they're in like an insane asylum. So you know that this doctor was exposed to this box at some period of time, and so he's been performing experimental surgeries on people in the insane asylum.
Right.
And that's I feel like the second one was extra gory and gross.
Yeah.
The first one was like, all right, I see what you're doing. The second one was too intense for me. Like, I looked away a couple times because I'm like, ugh. Like,
no, there was some. It was like extra, as the kids would say.
Yeah. So like, not. It didn't scare me. It just were scenes that I was gross, and I am still trying to figure out the storyline.
Yeah.
I'm curious about it and where it's going, or what it was. Maybe it's so simple, and I'm overthinking it too. Is the other idea.
I think that's very possible.
But I am fascinated by it. I'm going to continue this journey of watching all the Hellraisers, including the newest release. And please comment.
Yeah, if you are like, if this is your thing, let us know.
Yeah, what is it about it?
Yeah, what you think is so cool about it. Not, not to give you a hard time. We're just interested because it's not really my most treasured franchise as far as horror goes, and it is something that I'm not sure I'm totally understanding. So like, understanding just even how other people appreciate it might help me better comprehend the franchise or the movies, and especially if you understand some of like we're misunderstanding the plot and you can explain that. That'd be amazing.
Yeah. And Guillermo del Toro worked on the second one.
Really?
I saw that at the end. I didn't have a clue. So I feel like there's more to Hellraiser than I'm aware of.
Right, then I'm picking up so far.
Yeah. So like us, follow us, comment, let us know, what do you like about Hellraiser, why, and what do we need to know to enjoy Hellraiser more. And I said that I would give Hellraiser 2.5 stars, skulls.
Out of 5?
Out of 5.
Yeah, I would say 2 probably for me. 2 skulls out of 5 skulls.
All right. Well, creepy critters.
Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for joining us in the cemetery this evening. And I hope your day gets even spookier.
See you next time.